welcome to this week's What the Fork Monarchs preview show as we look ahead to another massive weekend for the Edinburgh Monarchs as they battle to get through to the playoff final and also with a cup final. Joined today by Mike Hunter, and we'll have interviews from Kai Thomson and Danny King, and plus we've got 3 bonus races since we've got 3 home meetings this weekend. So Mike, massive weekend ahead.
You'd have to say it's really one of the biggest weekends we've ever had, with a playoff semi-final and a cup final, as well as a Armadale Devils match. There's rarely ever been a weekend like that. It's, I suppose, a bit of a shame that it was also rushed because we're so near the end of October. It'd have been nice to spread these out and have a bit of time looking forward to them, but we can't do anything about that. So let's get ready for them and enjoy them.
Yeah, and just to go through in detail, I'm sure everybody's aware, but we're actually start tomorrow night. Well, that'll be Thursday, 7:30 through in Glasgow, and the first leg of the playoff semi-final at Ashfield. Then on Friday, there's a return match at Armadale, 7:30 tapes up, with the Monarchs taking on Glasgow after a fantastic match last weekend. We'll hope for a repeat of that. Then on Saturday, at 2:30 start, we're trying to make sure we avoid that weather. Edinburgh take on the Poole Pirates at Armadale in the first leg of the Knockout Cup final, which will be immediately followed by the Armadale Devils' last home match of the season, as the Mildenhall Fen Tigers arrive trying to finish off the National League, win that National League title they're due. And then next Wednesday, and at the moment there's a match planned for next week, it'll be the return match at Poole for the Knockout Cup final on Wednesday night at 7:30. So bit of a mouthful there, Mike, but there's lots for us to get our teeth into.
All right, I think you got all the matches in. It's quite hard to remember what all the competitions are.
Yeah, well, it's fantastic for us to be in there and at that stage of the competition. And of course, one of the reasons why I've got that extra match is because Saturday night's match was postponed last weekend, and that was probably the main reason why we didn't have a Friday focus last week. The plan was to have one extra bonus recording talking about both matches from Friday and Saturday. And so we didn't do that in the end, which was a shame because Friday was perhaps, my thinking, perhaps the second best ever meet at Armadale, Mike.
Oh, well, I hadn't thought about it in those terms, but you could well be right, certainly as far as excitement went, with the scores closing up all the way. And even when we went ahead, the Tigers came back with a 4-2 in Heat 14 and then a rerun in Heat 15. Tremendously dramatic. Not all the Tigers fans enjoyed it. I can understand that. When things go against you, it doesn't seem so much fun. But I thought it was an absolutely superb meeting and was thrilled by the determination shown by our team to get there in the end. It was marvellous. Yeah,
it was a fantastic all-round performance by the Monarchs. And as I say, because we didn't have Friday focus, we didn't have a heat from that meeting, and there was a few heats worth showing, but one that definitely talks about that determination was Heat 13, just after we got our noses in front. We had 4 current and former Monarchs number 1s at the tape. So Heat 13 as Ricky Wells and Craig Cook took on Sam Masters and Richie Warren, and we'll take a look at that now.
Masters and Cook to the turn. Worrell's blocked out there. The Tigers are on a 5-1. Worrell trying to come round the outside of Wells, and I think he's done that. Here comes Masters as well. Cook's a mile clear. Wells on that favourite inside line of his. Hanging on to the third place. Masters at the last gasp. Can he pick up a point on this final corner? Sorry, I'm a lap early. But Masters is just about past Wales, I think, working fiercely. Trying to shut that door on the inside. Cook wins it and the Monarchs share it after a tremendous battle to pass Ricky Wells.
So as we said before, a fantastic battling performance from the two Monarchs to ensure we got that 3-3 and stay ahead at a crucial part of the meeting. Both teams there will be looking to do much better in the away leg when the teams clash this week. Monarchs will race the same team again this week. All seven, I'd say it's full strength, but we do have to remember Jason Edwards is still standing in for Nathan Greaves, and Jason continues to do really well and was a fantastic. That Heat 12 win for Jason was a crucial part of that result we had, and so we're looking good. And those 7 riders are starting to gel really well, Mike.
It's terrific. We've made a tremendous difference to the team bringing these 3 riders in. Not wishing to criticise the 3 that went out too much, but it wasn't really working. And the 3 new guys have added some enthusiasm, and of course all 3 of them won a race last Friday. It's a shame that it's all come about because of Eastbourne's closure. I'm sure we'd all rather have seen Eastbourne keep going and ourselves not get these riders. But now that we've got them, I'm sure a lot of people want to hang on to them. They've done tremendously well for us, and our top 4 has been good from start to finish this season.
Nobody expected us to beat Glasgow by 20 on Friday night, and it'll be a tough challenge to do it again this Friday, but certainly more what we expect at Armadale.
I've certainly heard the view that Glasgow underestimated us last week, that they thought that by winning by 16 at home, the job was pretty well done. And I dare say some of us thought that too, but the riders thought differently. And what we've got to avoid this week is that we might think the same in reverse, because we've beaten them last week, that we're bound to beat them this week. And any logical assessment of it is going to be that that's not going to be the case. They're going to be very determined, and we'll be hearing about a team change for Glasgow as well shortly.
Yeah, I mean, and it's obviously stark contrast to the 2 results earlier in the season where Glasgow won at Armadale, and then of course we went and had that fantastic win at Ashfield on the Sunday afternoon. So who knows what this week will bring? Hopefully, we'll bring fantastic racing, and it'll be obviously your opportunity to get yourself trackside to watch that and to get on the stream. We'll give more details shortly, but. One person that Mike spoke to slightly earlier, giving you his thoughts ahead of those 2 matches, was Kai Thomson, and Mike started by asking him his thoughts ahead of those playoff semi-finals.
Yeah, I think we can be a lot stronger this time around to at the Tigers track, and yeah, a few of the boys had some dramas, but I'm sure they all have it sorted for this time round, because yeah, we know we can do good there as when we first met in the earlier in the season.
Yeah, I think some people think that Tigers underestimated us last week. That may be the case, but we can't go out underestimating them this time just because we won last time. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, they'll definitely be trying to come back stronger, but I don't think they'll beat us more than they did last time around. I think we can have that gap a lot smaller, and yeah, we still got to bring it at home, and I think we can. Yeah.
You feel there's quite a lot of confidence in the team now that we're a bit stronger at the bottom?
Yeah, 100%. I think now that we've had a few meetings together with a solid team, we're bonding all really well, and we all get along good, and yeah, I think that shows a lot in our last few performances. So yeah, I think we can do it.
Excellent. And then of course, whatever happens in that, we've then got to get ready for the cup final on Saturday. It's all a bit crammed together, but can we all get psyched up again for Saturday?
yeah, it's going to be a big 3 days. It's going to be pretty tired by Saturday, and trying to get things ready. And but no, we just got to bring our best, do the best we can, and that's all we can do.
Yes, indeed. And
That might be easy.
On Saturday as well, of course, we've got the Dale Devils match against Mildenhall, who have pretty much won the National League. Have you watched the Dale Devils this season?
Yeah, I have. I've watched the last few meetings at Armadale, and yeah, I was pretty happy with how they went. And yeah, no, they got a few good motivated young riders, and yeah, no, it was good to watch. It's yeah, they were good to watch, and yeah, it was good to see there's the good young motivated riders in the team, and yeah, they done really well against some tough teams in the past. So yeah, I was pretty pleased to watch them go around.
Yeah, good stuff. And of course, coming towards the end of your first season here, you've won club trophies and various things, and you must be pretty happy with your own performances.
Yeah, no, I'm stoked with how the year's gone, and so yeah, no, I can't wait to get home and sort of celebrate with the family just of how it's been such a good year, and yeah, better than expected, but no, it's yeah, I just want to. We've made it this far in the season, and we don't want to go out empty-handed. So we're going to do the best we can, because it's a long season, and yeah, you get to this stage, you don't want to throw it all away. So yeah, no, Sam's motivated, and really, and so is Josh. He's obviously been doing 4 seasons here. He wants to come out, end with a bang. So yeah, I think we can just do the best we can, and we've got a few with Jason Edwards on our side. He's an awesome young kid, and really switched on. So yeah, no, I think we've definitely got the team to do it. We just got to believe in ourselves, and yeah, that's all we can do.
So Kai, looking forward to that massive weekend of Speedway we're talking about. You know, it's as you just said there, Mike, the Glasgow will be licking their wounds and be determined as ever to recover. It was probably a big shock to them to get themselves into the position they were, and they weren't able to turn it around mid-meeting, but they're not going to be lying down, and they'll be right back at it this starting on Thursday night and Friday, and determined to try and turn the tables.
Well, certainly last Friday we saw riders like Ricky Wells and Brock Nicol, who've got, well, we know Ricky Wells knows Armadale very well, and Brock Nichols had a double-figure score there, and for some reason they didn't perform very well last Friday, but that could well change. And there was a team change for Glasgow on Friday as well, which we might as well let people know if it hasn't been announced anywhere else. Their Polish reserve Marcin Nowak will not be riding on Friday because apparently he's getting married, and into his place comes Cameron Heaps as a guest, which means they're replacing a guy who couldn't really turn the corners last week with a guy who was a heat leader for us a couple of years ago. So that's going to make it all the harder.
Yeah, it's potentially a big improvement for them on Friday night with that change, and big advantage for them. And as you say, Brock Nicol, I think he had a bit of a sore one in the home leg of the cup final, so perhaps he's had another week to recover. So I'm sure from a Glasgow perspective, they'll expect him to be much better. And of course, Brennan's had a fantastic weekend after being a brilliant performance on his Armadale debut. He was as bad as some of the other Glasgow riders was. Tom Brennan was excellent on Friday night.
Absolutely. Actually, on a trip to Rory Schline's testimonial on Monday, I was able to spend a bit of time chatting to Craig Cummings, and Craig is much more closely associated with Tom Brennan than I realised. And Craig's as shrewd a guy as anybody in Speedway. he thinks Tom's an absolute top prospect, and I'm sure we'd all agree with that.
Yeah, and for those watching that Speedway of Nations, when they've seen him picking up a win and a paid win, that under 21 spot, there's arguments for and against it, but those 7 points were key in getting Great Britain to the final, and take a second to say well done to that Great Britain team on winning the Speedway Nations title.
Certainly, yeah. They did very well. I don't think anybody thinks the rules are the most sensible things they've ever seen in their lives, but Britain took their chance and performed with a lot of maturity, considering how youthful they are.
Yeah, that young team, and so Tom Brennan will be part of that Glasgow Tigers team that makes their way to Armadale on Friday night. They'll be hoping to have built up a lead at Ashfield on Thursday. Look at I'm sure, I don't know if the Glasgow Tigers will be streaming the Monarchs match on Thursday night, and check out their social media, but you can definitely watch the return leg at Armadale on Friday night on the stream. So go to edinburghmonarchs.co.uk, where you can buy your stream for Friday night to see all the action in that on the Monarchs website. Get your ticket for Friday night and get yourself there for what will hopefully be another fantastic night like we had last Friday, and we could end up with a 30th heat decider again, Mike.
Yes, well, let's hope so. Let's hope it's good. And mind you, I'd like us to win easily in both legs, but if that doesn't happen, let's hope it's a thriller.
Well, we'll see what that brings in. Of course, that's not the end of the action, because we're then immediately turn our attention to the Knockout Cup final on Saturday afternoon. An unusual time for the Monarchs, kicking off at 2:30 on Saturday as the Poole Pirates come back up, and they're on red hot form again, Mike, and looking good for the team that finished top of the league. They're going to be a difficult challenge for us on Saturday.
Well, certainly. They beat us by 10 at the end of August there at Armadale. I think we should do better than that, because we didn't have Richie on that particular night, and our team's improved anyway. But Poole are a major obstacle to anybody wanting to win anything in the championship level. Again, to go back to Rory's testimonial on Monday, he apologised in advance to me for Poole having to beat us on Saturday, but I think he was just trying to psych me out. We'll see. Danny King was the same, but they're a team to very much be respected. They've got Connor Bailey riding for them, as I understand it, on Saturday, standing in for Stefan Nielsen, and that certainly doesn't make them any weaker either, but they have a very strong lineup. I think Benjamin Basso's down at reserve as well, isn't he? So
yeah, that's right. And
that's hot stuff. And Danyan Hume got double figures when he was last at Armadale, so that's how hard it is. But you don't expect a cup final to be anything other than that hard, do you?
No, you're right. And Danyan Hume, I mean, he jumped up into the main body of the team, but that made no difference to him scoring 9+2 at Leicester. You know, and people possibly looked at the first leg of the Poole Leicester playoff semi-final thinking Poole only winning by 6 at home. Maybe they're a bit rusty after having a few weeks off, but obviously none of that happened in the reverse leg as Poole stormed a 10-point win at Leicester. Very,
very good performance, and Rory absolutely to the fore in last Saturday's match anyway.
Yeah, and they do have that same as the Monarchs. Have got that really strong top three with Rory, Danny, and Stevie Worrell, our old friend, another Armadale expert coming back. So it's there won't be any easy races for any of the guys on Friday or Saturday, but particularly Saturday afternoon, and it's a little bit on the other foot where we need to get that lead ahead of the return match at Poole next Wednesday.
Certainly, that's right.
So we'll look forward to that. As you say, Connor Bailey stepping in for Stefan Nielsen as a guest. The Monarchs team expected to be the same Friday and Saturday, with all 7 raring to go. And so as we say, Poole got that power-packed team, and they are led by Danny King, one of the, he's at the veteran stage in his career now, perhaps?
You'd have to say that, but he's a very lively veteran and he's had a great season.
Yeah, he's certainly kicked on from where he is and probably enjoyed going back to Poole, and Again, Mike took the opportunity to speak to Danny, and he went through the whole Poole team for us. And Mike started by asking how he's enjoyed his season so far.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, it's been great. It's been nice to finally get going, should I say, to start with, and I'm really pleased with the team that's been built and the way it's sort of played out, really.
Yeah, Poole fans are obviously used to being successful, so you've kept that going for them. And,
sure. You can see Matt. Yeah, the way Matt works and the team he's built is, he wants to win. So it's been a good season for us so far, and obviously he's business end now.
Yeah. Okay, so if we could go through the team, obviously Rory is there, and he's done well this year.
Yeah, he's done fantastic. It's a funny one with Rory, really. It's crazy to think that he's retiring, and certainly after the way he's been riding this year, but fully understand it, and I hope we can send him off with a bang. That's been our goal, really.
Yes, indeed. And Steve Worrell has done very well, of course, as well. Is he top of your averages? Again, yeah,
Steve. Steve's coming off of a nasty injury a few years back, and we sort of knew that he came in on a false average, shall we say. It was a 7-something average, and we obviously knew he was going to up that, and he's done fantastic. He's worked his way to number one, just pipping me there. So it's been nice to have a bit of rivalry, but good for him.
Excellent. And your new Aussie Ben Cook has had a pretty good season. Yeah,
again, very impressed with Ben. First time I've met him, really, since I've been at Poole, and he's a good kid with a good head on his shoulders, and I think he shows a lot of promise for the future.
Yeah. And your rising star has been Daniel Hume, who's had some very good meetings. He was really good at Edinburgh, of course.
Daniel's just got better and better as the season's gone on. He's been around a little while now, and he's sort of got a bit of experience behind him, and I think this year it's his year. It seems to have clicked for him, and he's took that next step as what I class in the sport. He's gone from being a National League rider only to being a solid rider in the Championship and now in the Premiership.
Yeah, very good indeed. And of course, late in the season, you brought in Benjamin Basso. Have you been impressed by him?
I have been impressed by Ben Basso. I think he is a star for the future for sure. I mean, I'll give you a prime example was our trip to Edinburgh. To any rider to go to Edinburgh for the first time is not easy, and he started off with a bad last and finished with a good win. So it just goes to show what sort of rider he is and how quickly he can adapt.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. And of course, the unlucky guy is Stefan Nielsen. You'll miss him.
Steph's a sad one, really, because I think Steph and Steve were the engine room of the team at the beginning of the year, and they were fantastic. And obviously, to lose him was a big blow for the club. And we've sort of not really been able to replace him, so we've obviously been using guests and things. But he's been missed for sure because he's had a great year.
Mm-hmm. And he seemed to be a bit steadier than him sometimes was in the past.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah.
Excellent. And yourself, how do you feel you've done this year?
Yeah, good. I'm pleased. I'm really pleased. I've upped my average in both leagues, so obviously I'm pleased about that. It didn't quite go the way I wanted to with Ipswich, but on a personal note, I had the best year I've had in the top level for a long, long time. So, I'm pleased, really.
I watched that race you had when Anders Rowe was guesting for you, and you went outside. Who did you go outside? Somebody anyway.
It was Charles.
Hair raising.
That was one of them. That was one of them where I meant to pass one and not two. It got a bit tight at one point, but
great stuff. Okay, and obviously taking on Edinburgh in the cup final. Edinburgh have improved in the latter part of the season by getting some new riders at the bottom end. So I think it'll be a pretty tough tie for both teams. Do you agree?
I do agree. I think it's going to be a very tough tie. Everyone's going to have to be on their game. Edinburgh have strengthened up, I agree. And they're solid at home, we know that. And we're also aware that, they did push us hard at Poole. So, we're not underestimating them in any way, shape or form. We know we need to be on our top game if we're going to go there and get a result. So, looking forward to it, though. Don't get me wrong, we are looking forward to it and up for the challenge, but it's going to be tough.
Good to hear from Danny King there ahead of that knockout cup final. A fantastic, exciting match, and it's great just to have cup finals back at Armadale, Mike. It's been too long since we had one.
It has. The years have drifted by since we won so many things in 2014 and 2015. We've been on the edge of the playoffs, but never quite got too far. This year we've done better, so it's nice to be in amongst it, certainly.
Yeah, and it's going to be a right tough battle, as we saw earlier in the season when Poole were pretty good visitors to Armadale on the first occasion. When, as you said earlier, we were perhaps at our weakest point when Richie was still riding replacement. It was Drew Kemp guested, and in theory it was a trial, but it was his first match for the Monarchs, and 3-0s perhaps haven't shown what he's more capable of now. And unfortunately, it was Nathan Greaves' last match, so it was a difficult night for the Monarchs. And but one of the highlights of that match was a Heat 9 where Danny was up against Kai and Josh, and Ben Cook was also in it for the Pirates, and we'll see how they got on.
Drop on the Monarchs, but Guy Thomson goes brilliantly round him there off the second turn. Superb effort by Thomson. Can he hold him here, and can Pickering get into the action? He's certainly trying. Thomson's clear. King probably would be well advised to take care the man behind him doesn't get by, rather than putting too much into his challenge. Look at that from Pickering. Magnificent overtake. That's what Josh Pickering can do. King trying to come back, but he's well back now. Superb riding by the two Aussies. Great effort by Thomson and Pickering. They've levelled the scores.
It was a fantastic race there from earlier in the season, a magnificent 5-1 for the Monarchs against the Poole Pirates. Hoping for a lot more of that on Saturday afternoon as we hope to take a big lead in that Knockout Cup. That match on Saturday is the first of a double-header as the Armadale Devils look to finish their season on their home season on a high against Mildenhall Fen Tigers, and you can be there for both matches by getting yourself on the Monarchs website, indoormonarchs.co.uk, buy your ticket in advance of the match. If you're a Gold Card member, top up your ticket, and your opportunity to be there. It's going to be a fantastic thing. Now, the price for Saturday has been kept at normal Monarchs admission, and that does include the Devils meeting. However, we are asking for donations for that Devils match. The normal price for a Devils match is £10, so we're really hoping that everybody's going to stay back for that Devils match and pay that £10 donation to help towards those Devils costs, mates, because it's been a fantastic thing to be involved in this year. It'd be good to go out with a high for the Devils.
Definitely. After the high tension of the two finals and semi-finals and all that stuff, I think I'm sure the Devils regard their match as just every bit as important, and it is in its own way, but we can relax a wee bit and enjoy the Speedway there. There's not tremendously much at stake for the Armadale Devils. There is a little bit at stake for Mildenhall because they need to avoid a defeat by 43 points to hang on to the league title. They won at Kent the other night, and that's put them to the top, and I don't think the Devils, however well they go, are going to beat them by anything like that. So they should be the champions. But it'll be good to see a lot of good riders in the Mildenhall team, and but I'm sure the Devils with William Lawson will give them a run for it.
Yeah, that 24 points I think is the target for the Mildenhall Fen Tigers to secure the National League Championship. I'm sure our friends from Berwick would love it if the Devils were to somehow manage to pick up a huge win, but I think even the most optimistic Bullets and Devils fan won't see anything near like that score, with especially as Jason Edwards will jump from a red and blue helmet in the first meeting to a white and yellow helmet, as he's one of the Mildenhall Riders that's done that fantastic job. That's got them to the top of the table and looking to try and finish it off. For the Devils, as you say, William Lawson back in at number 1 from Nathan Greaves, but one last opportunity to show their stuff, get some good racing in on a decently prepared track with potentially a big crowd for the guys.
Yes, hopefully people will stay and watch it, and it's well worthwhile. I've enjoyed all the Devils matches this year at Armadale. Sometimes more than the Monarchs ones, dare I say. And yeah, it'll be fun.
Definitely. And of course, that the Devils match will be streamed after the Monarchs match as well, just as all the Devils matches have been streamed this season. So get yourself on the Monarchs website if you want to buy the stream and watch the Devils. Of course, Fen Tigers are regulars at National League level and have been for quite a few years now, and they have been previous guests against the Devils back in I think it's 2005. We got from your blast from the past, Mike.
That's what this race is from. Yeah.
So we had is it Carol Langley and Cal McDade for the Devils, trying to fend off Mark Thomson and John Armstrong coming off 15 metres for the Fen Tigers. We'll watch that now.
That's fun.
Armstrong, Thompson's made the gate, although Langley's tried to cut inside him and almost shut him out there. Here comes Armstrong queuing up behind. It's not through yet, there he is now. Into third. Cal McDade riding a brave race against the very experienced John Armstrong, who's a strong rider. McDade having one of his best rides of the season. He certainly prevented Armstrong getting anywhere near his partner, and he might prevent him getting into second spot. Armstrong diving for the inside this time. McDade on the outside. Oh, and Cal has lifted and fallen again, and he is annoyed with himself because he had a very good chance from that position, even though Armstrong had come inside him. But now Cal can only push home for the point.
So unfortunately, Cal McDade not able to quite hang on to hold off John Armstrong there, but another great race at that level, and that's the racing we're used to Mike, with the National League guys trying as hard as they can possible, and it'll be good to see the boys out there doing that again this Saturday.
Yeah, there's been some marvellous stuff in the Devils matches. Really enjoy them.
So will be for the Devils, that'll be the end of their home campaign. They still have one outstanding away match at Kent, which please keep an eye out on the Devils website for that. As soon as it's known, we'll know that. The Monarchs, of course, move on to the away leg in Poole on Wednesday, 7:30, another hugely difficult meeting, but one to look forward to, and another place where we managed to steal a point at the end, so we go with no fears, Mike.
Well, we certainly hope to do at least as well as that. It's a good performance that time, and it would be good to achieve it again, but we'll just have to see. I think both matches this weekend are well up in the air and very hard to predict. Yeah,
let's focus on this playoff match first. That's first things first as we go, Mike, but that's brilliant week of Speedway. As we've talked already, Friday night, the Monarchs take on the Glasgow Tigers, Armadale Stadium, 7:30. Saturday afternoon, the Fork Monarchs against the Poole Pirates, 2:30 start on Saturday afternoon, followed by the Armadale Devils against Mildenhall Fen Tigers. Get your tickets for probably two of the biggest matches we've had. We do better than last week, but I'm pretty sure that both teams will be giving it big guns as we look forward to those matches. But get yourself on that Monarchs website, get your ticket in advance, top up your gold card, get yourself a stream if you're down in Poole, a Poole fan. Get yourself watching. Why don't you watch an Edinburgh derby on Friday night and then see an Edinburgh derby, a Scottish derby on Friday night? I'm getting my sports mixed up there, Mike. But yeah, get yourself this on the stream and get yourself there. Now, not quite sure what we're going to do focus-wise this week. Unfortunately, the reason why I wasn't there, I'm isolated from COVID, so I won't be out of isolation for Friday and Saturday. But I'm sure the guys will have something this week, hopefully with 2 more fantastic results to look forward to. But with that, Mike, I think there's nothing more to say other than let's bring on the weekend.